Shalom, shalom. This is another Sabbath day, and we come out week in and week out just to bring out the truth out of the Bible.
Psalms 83, verse 1.
Psalms 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So now, this is the king of Israel, David. He's praying to the Most High God about some enemies, about a group of people that came together in this society and made a great tumult. They had this angry gathering against the Most High God and his people.
Read. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hated ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
See, the Most High, he knows how you guys all came together, how Esau was the main culprit, the Idumeans, the Edomites, you were the main culprits, and then Moab, the Chinese, and Ammon, the Ammonites, and Ishmael, the Arabs. God knows all about it because he has everything documented in the Holy Scriptures. And nobody is going unpunished for what you've done here in this body.
Read. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And see, you thought that you were going to, and for a while you had us in derision, and we didn't know who we were for a while, because you called us African Americans, you called the Native Americans, you called them the Gadites, Native Americans, and the Reubenites. God calls them the 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we're all called. But you guys try to put these proverbs and bywords on us, but God has our names documented in the Holy Scriptures.
Read. For they have consulted together with one consent.
And all these nations, God has all the nations documented in the Bible that consulted together with one consent and came against his people.
Read. They are confederate against thee.
See, the Most High God knows how you guys are confederate against his people, but it's not going unpunished. This is why you're getting punished as we speak. The Most High God is doing some punishing in this earth, and he's not going to stop until he accomplishes his mission.
Read. The tabernacle of Edom.
Edom. He said Esau was the main culprit that went over to the holy mountain and touched God's precious things. Esau was the main culprit. See, he has your number, and it's crystal clear.
Read. And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, because he's talking about the transatlantic slave trade and the sub-Sahara slave trade. See, you guys thought you got away with all that. No, nobody gets away from the one that created the heavens and the earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Nobody gets away from what they've done here.
Read. Of Moab and Hagarenes.
See, even Moab was involved in this, the so-called Chinese. See, that's why we study to show ourselves approved. Workers that are not ashamed of the gospel. And we're going to rightly divide this word of truth. We're going to bring it out the way Christ did it, the way Paul did it, the way Peter did it. We're going to bring it out the right way.
Read. Gabal and Ammon.
And see, Gabal, that was one of those Hamites, one of those, the ones you call African nations. But God calls them the land of Ham in the Bible. They're not even, because Leo Scipio Africanus conquered that land and called it and named it Africa.
Read. And Ammon.
And Ammon, the Japanese. See, God's got everybody's number, and nobody's getting away for what they've done here to his people.
Read. And Amalek.
And Amalek, the so-called Jewish people over in our land right now. Those Amaleks and Khazars, that's over in our holy land right now.
Read. The Philistines.
And those South Africans, which you guys, you call them Africans, but God calls that place the land of Ham. That's the land of Ham over there. It's not even Africa in the Bible.
Read. With the inhabitants of Tyre.
And another Hamite nation, the so-called African nation, Tyre.
Go ahead. Ashur also is joined with them.
And see, all these people came together with one consent to bring down God's holy people, the 12 tribes of Israel. But God has everything documented in these scriptures, and nobody is going unpunished.
Read. They have hope in the children of Lot.
And see, you came against Lot. You came against Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it's not going unpunished.
Read.
Go to Isaiah 51. Got it. Isaiah 51.
Isaiah 51, verse 1. Hearken to me, ye that followeth after righteousness, ye that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn.
And so now this is the prophet Isaiah, and he's going to break down some things.
Read on.
And to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you.
Now see, we come from that lineage. We come from that lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are not African Americans. We're Shemitic. The Bible has everybody's lineage in that Bible. He made 18 nations, but out of those 18 nations, he chose Jerusalem. He chose Israel out of all the 18 nations of the earth.
Read.
For I called him alone and blessed him and increased him. For the Lord shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden.
And he's going to, see, once he's done with this place, it's going to be so desolate, you're not going to be able to even take water into the pit. You won't even be able to get any wood out of that house when the Most High is done with that nuclear destruction that's on the way.
Read.
He will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody.
And see, we are going to rejoice on that day, but this is after Christ takes care of all his adversaries on this planet. And then we're going to be able to rejoice, because then everybody is going to be, then we're going to all sit under our fig tree, and it's going to be like the days of old.
Keep on.
Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation, for a law shall proceed from me, and I'll make my judgment to rest for a light of the people.
And see, this is the ones he chose from the foundation of the world. Like Christ said in John 14:15. He said it. John 15. He says, you did not choose me, but I have chosen you, and appointed you that you should go out and bear fruit.
Read.
Lift up your eyes to the heaven, and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished.
And see, because in righteousness we're going to be established. See, he chose us from the foundation of the world. And it doesn't matter about your emotions and how you feel. The Most High doesn't care about that. We'll go to it. Let's see what he said. Go to Isaiah 42. Let's see who he chose. Let's see. We're going to let the Bible do the speaking.
Isaiah 42. 44, yeah.
Isaiah 44, verse 1.
ahead.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen.
He said, hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, my chosen. The Most High God chose somebody from the foundation of the world. So it doesn't matter how you guys feel about this. It's not going to change. He declares the end from the beginning, and his counsel's not going to change.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Yeshurun, whom I have chosen.
See, he chose Yeshurun. He chose Israel from the foundation of the world. Why do you think everything is happening in the world right now? Why do you think he's shaking the heavens? You weren't never supposed to be on top of us. The only reason this happened is because our forefathers didn't want to listen to Moses. This is the only reason you got this power. And it says it right in the book of Daniel. Let's go to Daniel real quick. Let's see what Daniel, the prophet, said about this.
Daniel 2. Oh, he set it up.
Daniel 2, verse 44.
Go ahead.
And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven...
That's not it. He set it up. That's not it.
21. Verse 21, and he changeth the times and the seasons.
And see, this is the prophet Daniel. He said, and he changes the times and the seasons.
Read.
He removeth kings and setteth up kings.
And the Most High God is the one that removeth kings, and he setteth up kings.
Read.
He giveth wisdom unto the wise.
And he gives wisdom to the wise.
Read.
And knowledge to them that know understanding.
And he's the one that gives knowledge to those that know understanding. So the only reason you got that power, he gave that power to you. And we'll go to another precept, Job 9 and 24. Let's see what he said through the Levitical priest, Job. Let's see what the Most High said through Job.
Job 9 verse 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
He said the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked because he gave you that power. Read.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
And you've covered up Christ's face because Cesar Borgia is not the anointed Savior. That one that you've got hanging up in all the churches. Cesar Borgia, the one Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo painted, that's not the anointed Savior because Christ was a so-called black man. Read.
If not, where and who is he?
So the Most High God says, if you guys aren't the wicked, then where and who are they? The Most High is asking the question. If you're not the wicked on the earth, then where and who is the wicked? Read.
Let's go back to Isaiah 51, where you were. Go back to Isaiah 51,
Isaiah 51.
where you left off.
Verse 7, hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their revilings.
And we don't care about the revilings. We don't care how you come together and try to come up against us, because the Lord said he's going to be our shield and our buckler, our fortress and our refuge, a very present help in a time of trouble. So we're not worried about anything because we've made the Most High God our habitation and the Most High God our refuge.
Read.
Verse 9, awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the Lord, awake as in the ancient days.
So we're praying for the Most High to awake and come and destroy this place called America, which is mystery Babylon in the Bible, and spiritually Sodom and Egypt. We're praying for him to destroy this place. Read.
As in the generations of old, art thou not it that hath cut Rahab and wounded the dragon? Art thou not it which hath dried the sea, the waters of the great deep, that hath made the depths of the sea?
Because he's the one that laid the foundations of the earth. He's the one that created the heavens and the earth. No man did this. He's the one, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who did this. But you guys have gotten too puffed up with this pride. And the Most High said, pride cometh before the fall. Read.
Away ransomed to pass over. Therefore the redeemed of the Lord shall return and come with the Lord, and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away.
Because he's going to take care of all these people that come after us, all these police that's shooting our people down, all this oppression, all this perpetual hatred, all this everlasting hate that you got going. The Most High is getting ready to put that to an end. Read.
I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made as grass?
And see, you're just a mortal man, the Most High God says. And he says you're going to die just like everyone else. You're not the Most High One. You're not the Most High God who created the heavens and the earth. And you're going to die just like a mortal man. Read.
And forgettest the Lord thy Maker, that has stretched forth the heavens and laid the foundations of the earth.
Because he's the ones that stretched forth the heavens, and he's the one that laid the foundations of the earth. The Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who did all of this. But you guys have gotten too puffed up with pride. This is why you got to get taken off of that pedestal now. Read.
And has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? The captive exile hasteth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread shall fail.
And see, the Most High is not going to fail, because the Most High, he's going to remain faithful to himself. He keeps his promises. He doesn't tell no lies like you guys are so accustomed to in this society. You love lies. That's why, let's go to Isaiah 30. Let's see what the prophet Isaiah said about all these, the people that love lies in this society. Let's see what Isaiah the prophet said.
Isaiah 30 verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
Well, now he said, when you see woe in this Bible, woe means destruction. Destruction unto the rebellious people that take counsel, but not of me.
Read.
And that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit.
And then you like to cover with a covering, but it's not of God's spirit. What you guys are doing in this society is going with the imaginations of your own evil hearts. That's what you're doing in this society, but it's not being unseen. And the Levitical priest Job said, our witness is in heaven, and our record is on high. But guess what? Everybody's record is up there.
Read.
That they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth.
And then all you're doing, he said, is adding sin to sin. This is all you're doing here, adding sin to sin. This is the Lord's Sabbath day. He said to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. This is the Lord's Sabbath day. This is the day, not Sunday. This is the Lord's Sabbath day. He said to her, he ordained this day.
Read.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
And then you strengthen yourselves in people like Trump. You strengthen yourselves in Biden. You strengthen yourselves in a man. But God says you should trust in the Lord, the one that created the heavens and the earth.
Read.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
And all of this, what you're trusting in here, is going to be to your shame. You're going to be greatly confounded in a minute, because all you put your trust in is all this carnal stuff. And in a man.
Read.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
And this is going to be to your confusion, saith the Most High God. What are we reading? We're reading the King James Holy Bible. That's what we're reading out here. But see, a lot of at your churches you go to, they don't open the Bible. Plus, they don't even know what's in there. This is the blessing he gave to Jacob. Remember, Isaac and Rebekah had two twins? He gave this blessing to Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Go ahead.
Verse 8, now go, write it before them in a table and note it in a book.
And so the Most High, he did write it in the scrolls, and then it got converted over into the Bible. This is how it got into the Bible, but it was in the scrolls from the foundation of the world.
Read.
That it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people.
The Most High knows how everybody here is being rebellious. He knows all about it, because his eyes is upon the sinful kingdom. This is what he said through the prophet Amos, and he said he's going to destroy this place from off the face of the earth. Saving, he's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob. Go ahead.
Lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
Because you don't want to hear the laws of what God gave us from the foundation of the world. He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments, but nobody wants to take heed to what he said from the foundation. So you get ready for that recompense that's coming upon the whole earth. He's not going to stop until he accomplishes his mission.
Read.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
And then you don't want to hear the right things. What you guys want to hear is lies and deceits. You don't want the truth. But Christ came into this world to give testimony of the truth.
Read.
Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
And then you want to just hear lies, and you want to hear deceits. This is what most people want in this society. But every time we come out, all you're going to get is the truth. This is all you're going to get.
Read.
Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
And this is what's going on in your minds, because the mind is the heart. He already knows what's going on in those wicked thoughts. The Most High, he trieth the reins and the hearts. So you're not getting away with anything from the Most High God. Go ahead.
Wherefore thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word.
And since you hate this word so much, listen to what the Most High God said about it.
And trust in oppression.
And you trust in oppressing God's people every day?
Read.
And perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall.
He said this iniquity is going to be to you like a breach ready to fall. And he's not going to tell you when he's going to do this.
Read.
Swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking coming suddenly at an instant.
It's going to be suddenly at an instant. He's not going to give you the appointment and tell you when he's going to smash you. He's not going to tell you when he's coming to smash you.
Read.
And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. he shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it assured to take fire from the earth, or to take water withal out of the pit.
Because you're not going to be able to do anything when he's done. He's going to make this place so desolate. You're not going to be able to do a thing when he's done.
Isaiah 33. Let's go there. Isaiah 33.
You're not going to be able to do anything after he's done.
Isaiah 33 verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled.
As he said, destruction unto all of you that spoiled God's people, and you weren't spoiled.